Hello, everyone. We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James, as always, joined by Kaelyn. That way. There we go. I need to get used to that still. It's the other way. We got UFC 264 this weekend. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor for the third time. The completion to the trilogy. They are both 1-1, and we will discuss our picks on who we think will get the final nod and take the trilogy victory overall. So we will start with the bottom of the card for the UFC, not the whole card, just the main card, because there's a lot going on. It's a UFC pay-per-view, of course, but we'll just start there, and we're going to discuss Sean O'Malley versus Chris Montinho. I know that's wrong, because I always get it wrong, but I tried. So we will be discussing them first. O'Malley had a win, but his fight previous to that was a loss. This is Chris's debut, 9-4 against 13-1. Sean O'Malley, always exciting. He likes to go out there and bang. His last fight, though, when he went in, he thought he had the knockout, and he tried to just walk it off like, oh, it's done. But the ref was like, no, man, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
And I think that really shook his confidence.
Yeah.
Because I know that would for a lot of people.
Yeah, that ref, I think like nowadays I expect the ref to kind of call it whenever they do see someone get a knockdown like that, because some of them are real quick to call it. Some of them will give you some time. I think now a lot of the refs are giving more time because there's a lot of fights that had gotten contested because of that, I feel like. But that one, I think that was a good call what the ref did by not calling it. And
I agree.
Bit more exciting. I know Sean O'Malley is probably disappointed, but I mean, he gave him the opportunity to actually finish, so you got to go for it. I don't know. That was interesting.
When he did get the victory, he really had earned it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a flash knockout. It was hard fought.
I like that the ref waited. I like that.
Do you think that this is going to affect him in this bout, or do you think that he has adjusted in his camp and will make sure that when he goes in for the kill, he finishes the fight?
Yeah, I don't think that was a big deal to him. I think he's just going to do what he does, but probably not hesitate or think that it's done. Maybe he'll stick it out like a couple more seconds, throw a few more hard punches just to make sure that the ref calls it. But this is this guy, Chris, it's his debut. This is a little mismatched if you ask me, but I don't remember. I think he could be a replacement. I could be wrong, but I think that's why he's in this fight. But it is his debut, so I think Sean O'Malley's. I'm pretty confident he should get the win. On paper.
I have to agree. Is that your pick for this time?
Yeah.
Same here. I think O'Malley's going to go in and. I don't know if he'll look better, but I think he is going to go for the kill and not stop until the referee is like, okay, you're done.
Or you don't need a referee at that point. He's probably going to hit the gas pedal and not come off until someone rips him off, or he can clearly see that this guy's out. I don't know. You never know.
I feel like this bout and then the heavyweight bout between Tuivasa and Hardy should actually be at the top of the prelim part. And then Condit versus Griffin should be in the main card.
I think so too,
because
but
that is what's leading, or they're going to be the main event for the prelim card.
Yeah, but when you have such a stacked card, it's also you're going to get those fights that you think should be on the main card that might be a feature prelim instead. Of course, I would maybe swap a few of these fights for prelims and main card, but It is what it is. That's true, and it also is a selling point. That fight will be, I want to say, on ESPN Plus that you can watch for if you're a subscriber. So you can't watch it for free, but you can watch it if you're a subscriber. But yet this is the pay-per-view portion, and they do probably want to feature some other guys. So I do understand that. But as a Condit and Griffin fan,
I want to see them on the big pay-per-views.
Yeah, but I mean, nowadays, Condit, he, as big as he is of a name, he's kind of old. We have a lot of these new
Right.
that definitely deserve to be on the main card.
And so we haven't seen him compete in a while, too.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it is the way it is, though, right now.
I agree. And then we have a female bantamweight fight between number 4 and number 5. Irene Aldana versus Yana Kuskaya. I have a feeling I screwed that up.
Yana Kunitskaya. Yeah, I think you got it right. Yeah.
I was close. Aha. Aldana actually missed weight.
Oh, did she? By how much?
I want to say she was not by much. Let's bring that up. She registered at 139.5.
Oh,
she was 3.5 pounds over.
Oh, that's kind of a lot. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
This is the first time she's missed weight.
Okay.
She will actually be giving up 30% of her purse.
Okay.
For the penalty. Wow. Yeah.
Jeez.
She took to Instagram right after it happened and apologized to all of her fans for not making weight. I think that's very noble of her.
Yeah.
Because when people don't make weight, they're not holding up their professional end of the bargain. You're professional. You're supposed to go in on weight. It happens with fighters don't.
If you're on a Conor McGregor card, though,
that's a fact.
Oh man, that sucks that it happened that way. Man, I don't know. I understand that those weight cuts can go bad because you wait. You only give yourself a limited amount of time, and you think you're going to get it because you've always gotten it before. But honestly, like with women, and I don't know how old she is. I know, like when you get into your 30s, it's harder to cut weight for women, probably males too. But that when you hit a certain age, all of a sudden it hits you and you have no idea and you wonder why, what's going on. It's not the same as it used to be when you're like 20 or 25, but
getting older,
especially with women, they could gain and lose weight so quickly, as well as males. But women, when you hit a certain age, your body's changed your chemistry and hormones and stuff. So that sucks, but man, you would think on a Conor McGregor card, you'd be a little more prepared. I don't know.
Yeah, pay-per-view, not just a McGregor card, but a pay-per-view.
Well, if you're on a McGregor card, it's probably a pay-per-view.
It's a bigger,
Yeah.
All right.
But
we have 12-6 versus 14-5 and 1 no contest.
Yeah, I don't know about that no contest, but I like Yana Kunitskaya. I've always been a fan of hers. I don't necessarily know if she's gonna win. I want her to win, so I'm gonna pick her.
You're gonna pick her?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and write that down.
Aldana is good though, but I think Yana has been fighting pretty good fighters for a while now, I feel like, and I think she would get this one.
Well, I think Aldana's going to have the weight advantage, so I'm going to take her.
Okay.
Now, let's backtrack to what we were discussing earlier with Condit. Who do you pick in that fight? Do you pick Carlos Condit or do you pick Max Griffin? Max Griffin's been on quite the tear lately and has looked like a completely different fighter compared to what he used to be. But then you have Carlos Condit, who is dangerous all the time.
Right. I love
But
Carlos
he's getting
Condit.
older.
He is. If I was going to put money on it, I would go for Max on this one. I just feel that way. I think that's...
Is that your pick? Or is that just who you'd want to win?
No, this is my pick. I want Carlos Condit to win. I just think if we're going to go... Say we were betting money, I wouldn't bet money on Carlos Condit winning. I'd love him to win. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
All right, so you pick. Tell me who you pick.
Max Griffin. Who do you got in this one?
Max.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Because I was just going to be the foil. Like, I like either fighter. You picked Griffin, who I was going to choose, but because of that, I'll go with Condit.
Okay. I would love to see Condit win. I just don't think he's going to. That's all.
Just to be different, I'm going to go against the grain. I do appreciate both fighters. It's actually a fight. One of the most exciting fights I'm looking forward to on the card. I can't wait to see that. I will be checking that out. Let's be honest, folks. I'm too cheap to buy the pay-per-views. But there will be highlights on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah.
You can also just follow Facebook, and it tells you a play-by-play.
Yeah, everybody will say something about it. Oh, this and that, the other. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. Now we're going to go to the heavyweight bout between Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. Now, Tai Tuivasa is 12-3, 12-3, and then you have Greg Hardy, who's 7-3. Ah, man.
Who do you pick? Who do you pick for this one? I'll have you go first.
Well, Hardy's coming off of a loss, whereas Tuivasa is coming off a win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is actually a lot harder of a pick for me than I thought it would be. I expect these guys to go out bang.
They will. I'm going to pick Tuivasa with this one. I think he's gonna get it. Greg Hardy, he's kind of a wild one. I feel like Tai Tuivasa is a little bit tougher. I think maybe he can weather the storm a bit longer, and I think that he's gonna catch Greg Hardy. I think he's gonna knock him out. Actually,
you know what? I actually do agree with that. And he's just he's a big Australian dude. Like, he'll just go out there and just, all right, let's fight. Let's throw hands. What's this ground nonsense? Mm-hmm. So I do have to agree with that, and I will also choose Tai Tuivasa to get the victory. Let's see. That was the heavyweight fight for the main card. And then we have Gilbert Burns, number 2, versus Stephen Thompson, number 4, in a welterweight contest. And Gilbert Burns, we've seen recently. But it's also, he's fighting Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting fight. So tell me your thoughts on this bout.
Stephen well, Gilbert Burns is ranked number 2. I don't know if you remember his fight with Kamaru Usman when he had a chance to go for the title there. It didn't end up very well. But Thompson, I think the way I think of a lot of these fights of who I think would win is based off either their last fights or if they've already had a title shot and known what's going to happen. Like, I mean, say Gilbert Burns does win. We already seen what happened when he fought Kamaru Usman. I kind of don't want to see that again because I don't think it's going to be very different. But now if Stephen Thompson were to win, which I think he can, and he fought Kamaru Usman, that would be very interesting. I think Thompson is going to win this one. But I think Gilbert Burns is going to be a tough fight because I think Gilbert Burns is real motivated for this one because I think he feels he has to win this one. But I'm going to go with Stephen Thompson.
Go with Thompson? Yeah, Burns is number 2. He has the better fight record just by a few more wins. That's really it. But you know what? I'll go with Thompson as well. Just because you sold me on the fact that here's a guy that if he competes for the title, this would be more interesting than if Burns does, because we've already seen Burns do it.
I don't want to see Burns again fight for the title. I don't want to see Burns
and
fight
unless Burns changes his style completely, we're just going to get the same thing over.
Yeah. But also Stephen Thompson, haven't seen him fight in a while. I do think he can get this, though. I'm going to go with it. Could be a toss-up. I don't know, but I feel more for Stephen Thompson to get this one. I think that's what's going to happen.
They were also talking about the press conference. If he changed his name to Wonder Man, because he's no longer a boy.
Not a boy anymore. Okay.
But, he didn't really care for it. He'd rather stick with Wonder Boy, so I completely understand that.
Just keep it.
Yeah, hey, no Wonder Man there.
I think a lot of these nicknames are kind of dumb sometimes. I think if you have a dumb nickname, you have to keep it. That's your punishment. You have to keep it forever. Don't change it. I'm not saying it's dumb, but a lot of people do have dumb ones, and if they want to change it all of a sudden, it's a little weird. I think you could probably just drop it instead of changing it. But now,
I don't know. But what's more annoying? Having a dumb nickname or a nickname you try to give yourself?
It's usually the same.
True that. I've heard of a few people trying to give themselves a nickname, and it's like, dude, no, you don't give yourself a nickname.
It's earned.
It is given to you.
Yeah, that's
and it's
true.
Not because you want it to be that.
Yeah. But someone like Steven Thompson, you got to keep that nickname. It's been yours forever. That's how people know him. I think there's nothing wrong with it. Keep it. That's who he is. It's, the nickname he had. You should keep it. You have to own it forever. I think
that's a fact right there.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Now we're going to move on to the main event. Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor. They're going to hit the cage one more time in their trilogy. And
what do you think is going to happen with this one?
I think Poirier he's been building.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's finally hit that sweet spot.
He did.
Whereas McGregor had his time and he got humbled.
A few times.
He's
more than one.
You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
But he was still strong, but yet he hasn't been the same Conor, the same confident, overly motivated, or overly confident, I should say, Conor McGregor that we've seen in the past. I'm going to take Dustin Poirier to finish out the trilogy and get the win.
You think it's going to be another knockout for him?
Ooh. It better be, because that'd be a boring decision.
It kind of sucks. Especially with the trilogy, I think if it finishes with a decision, that kind of sucks, But what was so cool about their trilogy is that McGregor had knocked him out first, and then their second fight, Poirier did the same to him. And then a lot of people say, "Oh, it's not the same Conor." It's like, well, it could have been the same Conor. You never seen him lose before, and after you've seen him lose, it's like, okay, well, he's not undefeated, so he doesn't have that kind of hype behind him, but he is who he is.
He did lose early in his career, but he had won so much that his confidence was so crazy.
Well, he's super successful, yeah.
Nothing would have knocked him down until that loss.
But also watching Nate Diaz choke him out also you would think would have been very humbling. I feel like a lot of people chose not to address that or like consider that he actually lost, because everyone's so hyped on Conor McGregor, and like they have been for a long time. But after seeing him lose a couple times, it's like, okay, so the hype isn't that he's undefeated or anything like that, or that he's invincible, but it is Conor McGregor. Everybody loves him, and there's so much hype behind him.
If he just continued to run his mouth.
Yeah. But, this fight, it's kind of hard when they both have already knocked each other out. I know it was really early in Poirier's career that he got knocked out by McGregor the first time that they fought. I feel like Dustin Poirier is a bigger, stronger fighter, just because I feel like he kind of looks like that to me. And he looked like that to me in the last fight, and he, got the win. I think he could do it again. But the only thing is that McGregor has this chip on his shoulder about the last fight, and he is mouthing off again, and he is kind of like how he was before. And who knows, maybe he could pull it off. I think it's going to be a really good fight. I know Dustin can do it. I just don't know if that's what's going to happen. I'm really conflicted on who I pick. I'm going to lean towards Dustin, though.
All right. I'm marking that down as your pick. So we have made our picks for the UFC pay-per-view this weekend. Man, that's going to be an interesting card. I can't wait to see who wins the main event, because
that'll end it.
It's a trilogy. Yeah, that's it. And there have been some great trilogies, at least that I've seen locally. Just a prime example of one of my favorites is Kenny Ento versus Phil Collins. That was a local trilogy that happened over at Tachi, and I want to say the different promotions that have been at Tachi. And both those dudes are awesome fighters, and it was exciting to see them compete in all three bouts. But that's local. We're going to continue with the UFC. We've already discussed that the weight cut for Aldana didn't go so well.
Was that the only person that missed weight today? I didn't.
From what I saw, it was at least for the main card. It was
okay.
And then some other news came out this week. Nevada amends its marijuana policy. Fighters no longer face discipline for detection or usage. So I don't mind marijuana. I've never done it. I've never used pot or any other type of drug or what have you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not mad at this. I don't have any problems with them not punishing someone for using it. I've never seen it as an advantage for a fighter. Steroids, I understand. But marijuana, I've never seen that as an advantage for competition.
Yeah, I think the reason why it was like that, and we all know that marijuana doesn't make you faster or stronger, but I think their argument back then for doing that was maybe it could have been a pain suppressant in a way. I don't know, but that kind of makes me mad. I feel like, I don't know, because you think about Nick Diaz and everything he's been through because of that.
Prime example.
Like, okay, what do you do for those guys that you pretty much ruined their career? You took it away from them because of that, and now all of a sudden it's okay. I don't know. I feel like he should get he should get some money for that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know pot's not a big deal anymore, but I don't think it should be. It's not in any way a steroid. It's not performance enhancing in any way. I think if anything, it slows you down. I know a lot of people use it for CBD and for healing, anti-inflammatory also. But I just don't feel like it's anything that should be punishable for. It's not, it's not a painkiller. Well, maybe to some people it can be, but it's not an opioid. So I don't think, the whole thing's so twisted to me, and I feel bad for Nick Diaz. So I don't know. I'm glad they're not getting in trouble for it anymore, but I feel bad for everyone that's gotten in trouble for it, even for the people that are in jail for it. It's so dumb. I don't know. What do you do for those guys? I don't know.
That's a really good point.
They probably won't do anything. They won't do anything, but I'm just saying
they deserve something. They should. You're right. No, you're right. Now, you're right. Nick Diaz, he... at one point was this amazing fighter. He hasn't competed in quite some time, so we don't know if he still has it. Yeah. But he was the one who was punished the most for it. And now that they're like, oh well, F it. It's
okay now.
There should be some kind. There should be something like even a public apology. Like, we wronged you for so long in your career. Sorry, we apologize. Can't make up for the time that you've lost or the wages, but something.
Yeah, that'll never happen. No one's going to say sorry. It just doesn't work that way. I think the way things work, things evolve. This has evolved, which is good for the people that are currently fighting and are pursuing their careers right now. Yeah, I don't know. I feel really bad for all those guys that did get suspended for it or potentially their whole career taken away. I don't know. I feel like they were so harsh on Nick Diaz, though. Even for it being what it was back then, I think that was super harsh. I don't know why it was like that. I don't know. Nothing like that happens again. But I feel like he's owed some money.
Hey, why not go to court? See what happens. Stock represent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. Alex Perez's fight that was going to take place is not going to take place this month. In fact, it'll take place. It'll take place next month. So it's moving from July 31st to August 28th with a new opponent. Askar Azarov is out. And Matt Schnell is in. Okay. So, Lemoore native Alex Perez, we love him. Big fan. Good dude. He will be competing next month. And I look forward to seeing him. Like I said, I'm a fan. I've known the guy for a long time since he started his pro career. God. It basically just said I'm getting old. I look forward to him competing. We also have another local coming up pretty quick. Misha Tate versus Marion Renault. That fight's coming up pretty quick. I've seen Tate's progress. holy cow, she's back in it. And I know Renault takes it seriously, but I hope Renault wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that fight. I'm like, man, that fight's worthy to be on this card. I wish it was on this card, Either, well, I think it could be a main card fight. I know they already had their picks already. I know it's a little soon, but it's Miesha Tate. I mean, and it's her comeback. You have to make that kind of big, right? So maybe they're saving that for another fight card where maybe she will be the highlight of that. But this would have been a really, really cool pay-per-view to have her on there too. But, oh, well, it's okay. I don't know what she's going to look like now. I feel like she's either going to be the same or maybe better. She looks good. I don't know as compared to how she did before. I don't know, but she's always fought the most elite fighters. So it's not like, she has some of the best experience. She's been doing it for a really long time. I think this is a really good matchup actually for her. I think it's really good. And I think it's good for Renault also. I think it's good for those two to be matched up. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen with that one?
I'd love to see Renault get the win, but I wouldn't be shocked if Tate won.
Yeah, I was going to say this about the
same. Tate was just an amazing fighter. The only problem she ran into was Ronda Rousey at that time when nobody could really solve that puzzle. Until Holly Holm was like, here, I got one for your face.
Yeah.
So
but I think also after Rousey was out of the picture, after Holmes had knocked her out with that head kick, she then took the belt from Holmes though. After, or was it Holmes? Did she take it from Holmes? She had inherited the belt very soon after Rousey was gone, which proves that she could have potentially have had that belt if it wasn't for Rousey. But she then, I remember I was mad because that belt got passed around a lot right after. So I'm like, all right, well, fine. Who's got it now? It was Nunes, I think, that got it from her. I could be wrong. It was a while ago. But was it? I don't know. I feel like it was around UFC 200 time. I don't know. I can't remember that far back right now. But I know I was mad when that belt was getting passed around a little bit. I feel like she's going to beat Ronaldo. I like Ronaldo, of course, but she's just, they're both experienced. I think Miesha Tate she has the edge on it. So I think she's going to and she could either knock her out or get her on the ground. I feel like maybe this might be a ground fight for her that she'll do really well in. She's so well-rounded.
Tate's strongest advantage is her wrestling.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's really going to use that to her advantage, and that's what will probably garner her the victory overall.
I think so. That's my pick for that one. I think that's what's going to happen, but we'll see.
I don't want to pick Tate for that, so if you pick Tate, I'll probably go Renault just to go against.
Someone's got to pick Renault. We got to.
That's right. That's right. We got to show some love to the local people.
So it's going to be a great fight, I think.
I know. Decisions. All right. You remember CM Punk?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me your thoughts on him.
I'm sorry. I just thought you take a gamble on some of these guys that they think that they can just cross over, be all good, but obviously it doesn't work out for everybody. I almost don't give a shit what happens to him. So,
well, a fight of his has been turned from a loss to a no contest.
What happened to his opponent?
It was when he competed against Mike Jackson.
Okay.
In 2018, Jackson tested positive for something due to marijuana. Ironically, right?
Okay. This shouldn't even be an issue. This shouldn't even count right now.
And so the win was overturned, and yeah.
Due to marijuana?
Yeah.
Now?
So it was a no contest.
What's up with this? Like this just happening right now, or what? That makes no sense.
I don't know either. It's really weird. You're right.
2018. Well, okay. Now it's 2021. Is this just making news and that people knew about this before? Or, I don't understand this, but it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know why this story came out this week about it.
Yeah.
It's just really strange. But yeah. So yay, there's only one loss on CM Punk's record.
It doesn't change
CM
anything,
Punk.
and it's marijuana. If anything, that makes him look worse.
Right?
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's bad
CM
for the other
Punk.
guy.
Okay, so I like CM Punk as a wrestler. CM Punk as a fighter, not so much.
Oh, really?
Brock Lesnar is a different type of monster, literally.
Well, he's a heavyweight.
Because he also had the amateur wrestling background. He was a college champ.
Yes.
So like that dude wrestling in general is scary as hell.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm actually surprised if he didn't go to WWE. I really think he should have went to the Olympics. He would have killed in the Olympics. But that wasn't the case. And he's just busy scaring the bejesus out of everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Still to this day. But yeah. Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, is now, I believe, 1-1. So hey, good for him.
Does anyone want to see him fight again in the cage?
I'm sorry. Oh, 1-1. There we go. I had to make that correction. All right.
I still could care less about him. No thanks.
Yeah. If he came back to wrestling, I'd be like, yeah. If he came back to fighting, I'd be like, no.
Yeah. What a waste. I don't know.
All right. Since it is a slow week here, since we already did our picks for the UFC, we've discussed some other UFC news. The last thing we're going to talk about is Hector Lombard. Did you happen to see his bare knuckle fight?
No. I want to say I watched that card. I did not see him fight, though. Must have missed that one. I'm sorry. Bare knuckle fighting, I lose interest about halfway through. I'm sorry. I try to watch it. I'll still watch it, but I don't know, man. But what happened? What is this?
He fought against Joe Riggs and beat him.
Okay.
Joe Riggs, for those playing at home, was a UFC vet as well. And they fought in bare knuckle, and Lombard got the win. But then they brought in basically his next opponent, like this next guy, to kind of like hype up another thing. And Lombard's like, why are you trying to steal my shine? And like immediately threw hands right on sight. It was nuts. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the dude. So Lombard was like, yeah, I won. And then the guy came in because they want to kind of do some pre-hype because they already have an idea of who they want to fight next.
They try so hard.
And Lombard was like, what? And just went. And it did not end well. Do you think that, say you're a high-profile fighter in that situation. Let's pretend you're Hector Lombard. You get the win. You're like, I got the win. Yes, you're trying to ride that victory. And then they're like, you know what? Let's bring in this person. Do you feel like, you know what? That shouldn't be done because that person, that next competitor is going to steal your shine from that victory that you just earned? Or are you like, all right, let's do it because that means I got another fight set up. I got another paycheck coming.
Depends what you're in there for. I don't know. I get the sense that a lot of fighters that are in bare knuckle, at least the ones that already have fight experience, are in there because it's their last stop. Or they think it's the next best thing or are really trying to count on it. God, I don't know. It depends why you're in there in the first place. Maybe it is money. Maybe he thinks he's not going to make as much money. Maybe he thinks he'll lose. I don't know. Kind of depends. I don't know. Although the whole thing's a circus anyway.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
I want
we don't have Ringling Brothers
so bad. I want it to be good. But
we don't have Ringling Brothers anymore, but we do have bare knuckle fighting.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And Triller Fight Club, because they bring on some crazy fights.
They do. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. I almost don't care. I have to say, bare knuckle fighting, I have a hard time taking some of it. I'll take seriously. Some of it, I'm like, what am I watching? I'm like, this is crazy, but I want to see the next fight, so I keep watching it. And a lot of times, the main card will get better with as far as like skill goes. So Some of it's good, some of it's not. But man, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about it. It's, I don't know. I laugh at it more than anything.
That's why I like it.
It's crazy. It's tough. It's brutal. A lot of times I feel bad for the people in there because it's like, yeah, this guy won, but his face is falling off as well. And I'm like, what for? I mean, man, the damage is so bad. It's like, how many fights do you plan on doing in there? Because I don't know how
your career isn't going to last long with that. In bare knuckle fighting, your career doesn't go long.
That's the last stop. It's just how long, I don't know. It's a mess. To me, it's a mess. The main card does get better than the undercard does, but I still have a hard time taking it seriously. I'm trying. I hope it gets better. I want it to get better. I do. I want to like it. I just have a hard time so far.
Now, do you appreciate that there are MMA fighters that go into bare knuckle fighting, or would you rather see bare knuckle fighting create its own stars?
That's what I want. I think I want bare knuckle to create its own stars. It's just the fact of what it is. I don't know if that's possible. UFC's the elite, the top. I'm not saying it's not brutal. It's definitely brutal. But when you compare the damages done by the two sports, I feel bad for the bare knuckle fighters, and I feel even more bad when they like it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just watching some guy destroy his life. Even though UFC is brutal as well, it's just not that gruesome, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Now, is there a fighter UFC that you would like to see compete in bare knuckle?
Oh, someone in UFC that I want to see?
Who would you like to see? Not in the UFC, just in general. Any combat sport. This includes Glory. I don't even know if K1 is still around. I think K1 turned into Glory.
Florida.
Any combat sport fighter, who would you like to see compete in bare knuckle?
I almost want to say, I don't know. Specifically, I don't know. I almost want to say I'd like to see some smaller guys compete in bare knuckle because, of course, you're going to have these heavyweights that just do these sloppy punches, and that's just how they are. I want to see a more skilled, like a bantamweight, get in there and see what they can do because a lot of the bantamweight fights in UFC, you know, we don't see a lot of knockouts. They have high energy all the time. It takes a lot more power to knock a bantamweight out. So, you know, I don't know. There's way too many. I'm thinking of UFC, someone from UFC though. I'm thinking I'd want to see a couple of UFC fighters in there, but maybe a smaller weight class. I feel like we see a lot of heavyweights get in that circus and do what they do. That's fine. That's a heavyweight.
They got power. That's why they're excited. Yeah.
That's why I want to see a bantamweight because I think they could destroy each other. And I want to know what that looks like for smaller guys.
The one fighter, I should say, that I would love to see if I could pick somebody out of time is my all-time favorite MMA fighter, Vanderlei, the Axe Murderer Silva.
No,
just because that dude, when he would throw hands, was so devastating. Even in there would be Mirko Cro Cop.
Yeah.
But I feel like Cro Cop would get caught easier than Vanderlei.
I think Vanderlei could get caught. I just don't think he cares. I think he would weather it and just keep going. That's a good pick. I almost feel like he should already be in BKFC, just knowing how he is anyways.
He's done. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad he retired when he did. He's one of my favorites. So, and one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. Oh, man. One time I've ever been starstruck meeting a fighter. I've never been starstruck meeting a fighter until I met Vanderlei Silva over at Tachi Palace in Lemoore. Hi. Would you sign your action figure for me? Thanks.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know specifically any fighter. I don't have anyone in mind for that. I'll have to think about that one. That one's a fun thing to think about. Yeah. No, it'd definitely be someone in a lower weight class though, because you're not used to seeing them do a whole lot of damage to each other. Just because their cardio is through the roof. It's just you don't see a lot of finishes. I want to see a finish for those guys. Maybe even a flyweight too, man.
Now, talking about kickboxing, what do you think about old school fighters like a Jerome LeBanner or even an Ernesto Hoost competing in bare knuckle? What would you think about? I don't know if you even know who these fighters are. These might be like,
yeah. But the only thing about that is I have a problem with kickboxers going to boxing because they can't use their legs, one of their greatest tools, you know. I'm not so interested in seeing kickboxers go into boxing at all. They're tough. Those kind of names were kind of going through my head when you asked me that question, like Rico Verhoeven. Maybe that would be a good bare knuckle fight, you know. I don't know. I think about it too technical, I guess. Could be fun. I don't know. I have a problem with kickboxers going into just boxing because I think there's a reason why they're in kickboxing and not boxing.
Not boxing.
You can have boxing and kickboxing.
And they don't have all their tools at their disposal. Yeah. I got you.
Mainly kickboxing, you got those legs. That's it. That's like, you know, a lot of the people's main focus. I think you get scored higher points for that, especially in Muay Thai. Those kicks those kicks are everything. I was a little surprised learning more. The more you learn about Muay Thai and how they score it, punches almost mean nothing to them, to be honest.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. A lot more than you think. It's like, man, this guy, I've seen so many fights where an opponent would be lighting someone up with their hands, counts for nothing, and they lose. It's just because their opponent threw a few more kicks than they did. And it's like, man, that doesn't seem right, but that is how it goes. So I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't like thinking of a kickboxer going to boxing. It's not fun to me. I like maybe a boxer going into bare knuckle because it's boxing, but it's bare knuckle.
That's true.
That's more interesting to me. Yeah.
Well, do you know of any events going on this weekend aside from the UFC pay-per-view? Is there anything going on locally that we know of?
I don't think so. I've been way too excited for this one. So.
All right, folks, when we hear about something locally to the Central California area, we will let you know. And if there's an event that you want us to talk about, contact us and let us know, and we will talk about it. Because, I mean, we're always down to...
Any about 559, any of that coming up? Or
559 fights. They just had their event, and they will probably be having an event shortly. I will look into that, and we will discuss it next week for sure. Because, of course... They do, I don't know if they're going to do once a month, but they are always planning something. So I'll find out, and we will let you guys know on the next episode, because that's what we do here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James. She's Kaelyn. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the fights this weekend. They should be super awesome, and we will see you guys next week to talk about it. So until then, we will see you guys next time. See ya.